Hello everyone, my name is Cap and welcome back to the channel. Another 7 Days to Die video. Doing all this in Alpha 16.4 on the PC, but this is similar concepts that'll work on consoles. We are back in the cornfield and you see I've cleared it out. We're going to do some more maze testing. Last video you guys were phenomenal with additional things you wanted me to test out and feedback, and I cannot thank you enough for all the feedback on that. It was cool. So we're going to try and do some additional testing based on some suggestions you guys had. And one of the things I got a lot of people asking about was when I tested whether or not she would try and go over the wood spikes or take the long way around instead of just the short path. Several people suggested why not I have the spikes buried underground, that way she sees that it's just a level block and maybe the AI doesn't try to get her to walk over the top of the spikes if they're one block higher than the rest of the ground was, and so they wanted me to bury the spikes and see if she'll do that. Okay, so we're going to get our lovely assistant Sylvie back in here, and I had some people asking me why I used the nurse on here. Well, there's two reasons. One, because...
Hello, nurse.
And two, because they're one of the original zombies that was in the game, and so their pathfinding and their AI and how they work and everything is already established. Let's see if she'll go towards the actual spikes if they're in the ground. It kind of looks like she is. With them being, you know, in the middle, yeah, she's gonna traverse right through the middle of those instead of trying to go the long way around. And I don't think she's gonna make it. She's trudging through, man. She's a fighter. That's why we bring her back. Good for you. Good job, sweetie. I hate to do this to you. I mean, but at this point, you're kind of useless, so I'll just have to put you out of your misery. So, excellent suggestion, you guys. By having the spikes in the ground, she saw it as just level ground, and this being the shorter path, she walked right over the top of them instead of trying to take the long way around like she did last time. That's very interesting. So if you're using this sort of setup in your base, make sure you put the spikes one block down on the ground so she'll actually watch over the top of them. The Elgato Cam Link allows you to use your GoPro, DSLR, mirrorless, or even a camcorder and use it as a higher quality face cam than any traditional webcam. Easily improve the quality of your live stream, podcast, or vlog without all the headaches of USB drivers and clunky settings. Get 1080p 60 FPS quality with the Elgato Cam Link. Check it out via the link in the video description below. Okay, so we've established that with having the log spikes in the ground that she doesn't see this as an extra distance she has to travel. In the original video, she went the long way around to try and bypass all the spikes, but as we saw now, with them being one block down, she doesn't seem to care. This is the shortest route she's going to try that here. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to spawn in a few zombies and see if they all go the same way to go the short path or if they kind of split up. So let's get a couple of our friendly nurses in here, get back to our spot, and see which way she goes. See if they all go the same way or if they split up. Okay, they all three went this way. I'm going to do this test twice just to make sure. They're all going to go towards the spikes and do some damage, and they're going to get themselves wrecked here. See, this is just kind of crazy here. They're all they're all trying here. I'll let them get a chance to get out. You know, they've earned the chance at least to crawl out here. They're climbing through the muck and the mud and the spikes and blood of their former friends. And okay, so we're going to do the exact same test again to see if they go the exact same direction, if they have any kind of preference here. Get our friendly zombies in, go straight backwards, and see which way they decide to go this time. Alright, so it looks like one. Hey, look at that. She's just trying to go straight through the wall, and then she changed her mind. She thought about it for a minute, but she's like, that's way too much work. So she went the spike route, and the other two went the longer route. So it looks like when it comes to pathfinding, if there's a dangerous situation, they don't seem to avoid it as much as rather just going the long way like in the original test. As long as it's a easier way to get to me. Okay, so what we've learned of that is that if the ground is level around here, whether it's dangerous or not, they don't seem to have a preference. Sometimes they go the long way, sometimes they go the short way. But the spikes in the ground don't seem to deter them when they're one block down. That's really interesting. Alright, so if you're building your base, make sure you use the spikes in the ground and they'll just walk right over the top of them. But if they're above the ground or one block up, then they will try to avoid them. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I've reverted the maze back to the it was at the end of the last video. I got the winding corridor over here, the dead end, the spikes, re-leveled the ground back off over here. But something somebody wanted to test out was to see what happens if it's feral zombies. If they play by the same rules, if they try and just go straight through the walls, if they care about the spikes, if they care at all. So we're going to spawn in a couple of ferals and see if I can quickly get over there and see what they do. So let's get our lovely assistant out here. We'll get a few of her friends out here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure we're out of the way. Get behind the door. and see what they do. Okay, so 3 went the spike route and don't care at all. They ran right over the top of them. 1 ran around this direction. Now I'm flying high above them here, so I wanted to see the route they went. So they all kind of went their own path. They didn't seem to care at all when it came down to that direction. So when it comes to feral hordes, they may bust through the walls, like this one seems to be stuck there right at the moment. They run right over the top of the spikes. They don't play by the same rules. They're not going to definitely try to avoid any danger. But we're going to try this again. I'm going to put some spikes in the floor over there and make a couple more dangerous routes and see if they do it again. So hang on just a second. Okay, so we've reset. I got the door back on here, add some spikes there, put some spikes over here on the floor, just one little row of it right before the turn off here, and I put some spikes on the floor there. And these are ground level, so they would actually have to go up a block as far as their pathfinding goes. So we'll get a couple more ferals in here and see if they play by the same rules or what they do. Let's get our assistants out here. We'll get a couple of them. Let's fly back here and see what they do. Now again, like I said, I'm taking the coward's way out and flying because they will absolutely dominate me. Okay, so it looks like all of them went the route of the spiked floor over there, and that one looks like she tripped over the top of it and landed on it. So as far as danger goes on this one, the ferals did not seem to care at all about trying to avoid being hurt. They all went the route of the spiked path here. I don't know if it's because it's the shortest path or it's just the path that they took, maybe their first right. I don't honestly know. But that one managed to glitch up on top of it, and she's going to army crawl to me via the raptors here. Going some diehard, sneaking in through the air vents or something. But okay, so when it comes to ferals, they don't play by the same rules as the regular zombies do. So let's do some more testing. And a test somebody recommended doing that I think would just be fun was, what if you had different kinds of traps besides basic spike traps? So I have the secondary maze over here. You can see from an aerial view here, the left path is much shorter, but they both end up in the same direction. It's exactly twice as long going to the right as it is to the left. I got a couple blade spikes over here. I'm going to leave the right one wide open and spawn in our lovely assistant and see if she'll take the short route and get immediately eviscerated, or if she will go through and try and hide, or if she'll go through and try and take the long route and stay safe. So let's get Sylvia in here. Let's get back to our little base area and see which direction she goes. We're just going to stay up higher so you guys can see it. I don't have to be on ground level for this one. Oh, okay, she's going to go straight that direction. Well, it was nice knowing you. Okay, so regardless of which spikes are on the ground or blades on the ground, they seem to want to go the shortest path. At least regular zombies do. Now remember, ferals don't necessarily act the same, but we know it. We'll test them out. Oh, I feel so bad for you. All you have left is one arm and you're still trying to go for it. It's just a flesh wound. Thank you for your services. So, how about we spawn in a couple zombies and see if they do the same thing here. Let's get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll get a small grouping of them, see if they all cooperate the same way, if they all go towards that, or if they try and scooch out and move over. Nope, they're all going to go the short route. Let's come over here and see the carnage at least. I mean, because that's just fun. That's just good old-fashioned family entertainment right there. You poor, poor women. I feel bad for you, I really do. Okay, so we know that the regular zombies will just take the shortest path first and get absolutely eviscerated. Let's see if we get a couple ferals in here to see if they go shortest path, or if they will try, if they're any smarter than their counterparts here. So we'll get a couple ferals and just go straight backwards so that I have a chance to try and follow us directly. And nope, they're going to go shortest path too, and they're going to get absolutely obliterated as well. So, short path is an option. Regardless of how dangerous it is, they're going to go that way. Same way it worked out in the first test when we have just regular spike traps here. Very cool. Okay, now this one seems like it could be a pretty obvious test, but we're going to test that anyway. So what I did now is I just blocked off one of the paths with a simple door. It's unlocked, just a regular reinforced door, nothing special about it. Got the blade traps over here going. So we're going to spawn in our nurse and see if she'll try and take the long way around and avoid all the safety, or if she'll go the short route, beat down the door, and walk to her demise. So let's see what she does here. Alright, Sylvia, show us what you got. I'm going to scooch over here. Come on, sweetie, you got this one. No, you're not any smarter than the rest of your friends over here. So she is going to go the most challenging route possible, apparently, as long as it's the shortest route. She wants to beat down a door, and then she wants to try and get to the blade trap. Okay, this one's going to be a two-part test here. What I have now is I shortened the maze so that it is exactly symmetrical Both sides are identical, comes down to the same path, and what I'm going to have over here to start with is I'm going to go ahead and have the blade spinning up, spawn in our nurse, and see if she'll go the blade path or if it's being the same distance, if she'll take the safe path. And then I'm going to put some more traps on this side and see if she'll try and avoid one over the other, if there's one that she prefers. So let's get Sylvia in here, head back to our safe spot, and see if she'll actually take the safe route. That's good, she will. Okay, so given that if it's the same distance, she will take the safest path possible. We kind of proved that last time with the spikes here. Uh-oh, sorry about that, I didn't mean to. Okay, so let's get some more traps in here. Alright, this should be a pretty simple test here. I got the blade traps over here, took down the door, same distance on both sides, and what I did on this side was I put in 4 rows of barbed wire fences, and then I put in a buried electric fence here. It goes right across the top of it, and then zigzags over that direction. So, if she decides to take this route instead of the blade route, then she will get electrocuted, get stuck here, she's just going to have a bad time over here on this side too. But, I wanted to give her the option to see if she can figure out which one is going to be the most fun for her. So, let's get our friendly nurse in here, head back and see which direction she goes, if she decides to get obliterated or electrocuted first. Oh, she's going to choose the electrocution route. Okay, well, we'll do this test twice to see if she takes the same path more than once. She's going to have to sit here for just a little while because, you know, it takes a while for her to get through these little traps. She's going to be stuck there. She's slowly taking some bleeding damage. She hasn't even made it to the actual electric part of the trap now. Okay, now we're going to do the same test again to see if she takes the same route or if it's just kind of random. So let's get our nurse in here. Let's head straight backwards and see which direction she goes this time. She decides to take the electrocution route or the obliteration. Okay, well, it looks like, as far as I can tell, when given the option, she wants to avoid the blade traps and just go the route of being electrocuted and pulverized with barbed wire. So that's interesting. Maybe, I don't know why. What is your theory as to why she might be trying to take this route versus that route, since she can't technically get past it? Maybe because it's just an obstacle and she can break through it versus that it's not? Huh. Interesting. Okay, so the last test that somebody wanted me to test out was, what if they are on the outside of your maze? Because obviously if you have a maze around the border of your base, you want it as the way for them to get into to eventually take damage. But okay, the last test somebody wanted me to check out was, what if they're outside the maze? How do they go about trying to get to you? So what I did was I put a door right here where I would normally spawn them. And I'm going to drop in a nurse or two right over here and see if they'll go straight towards the door, which I believe is what they'll do based on previous tests with doors and walls. And then they'll see if they make it through their base. So this is going to be the final test, and we'll see what they do. But while we're doing this, let's get a couple of our friends in here. While we're doing this, of course, if you guys have any suggestions about a follow-up part 3, I'm all ears. Hearing from you guys is an excellent, fun way to get some good ideas, and I'm really enjoying it. I had to make like a really long document to try and figure out what to test here because you guys provided so many different options. And if I didn't get to your test, I apologize. I tried to do variants of the different test suggestions that were given, but I also don't want the video to be an hour long. So, we'll see. And hopefully this will answer a lot of the questions we have here. Let's see if they'll all go the same direction. It looks like they're all going to go the same route. They just don't want to deal with those blades, but they'll happily go over to the barbed wire. So, if they spawn outside the base, they'll go towards the closest door to get to you from the inside, and they'll avoid the instant death traps and make their way into the barbed wire setup that you have here. So, there we have that. Alright, well, thank you again for all the suggestions. This has been a whole lot of fun. And of course, if you have suggestions that aren't maze related, do leave those in the comments as well, because I do enjoy reading those and adding them to the list of things to do. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. And don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. Thank you guys so much for your time. You have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later.